Hey everybody, Tuesday with Tanya. So a few different topics today. Yes, we'll do some politics, some Trump talk, some talk with the local races that had happened also last week. Some also cheating in the elections. I wanted to go over a little bit of that as well. We're going to have Raffle, the New York system. So tune in, make sure you stay tuned in for that too. And join in, comment if you want, like always, if you agree, disagree, and more. So basically, I'll start off by saying Jay Sherman over at Seniors Choice RI, his phone number 401-529-7573. He has free services for a consultation. He's located right on Warwick Ave, 1629 Warwick Ave. But however, he is able to do in-home appointments as well, since he deals with a lot of elderly. So in-home appointments are convenient too. You can see if you qualify for any additional benefits under your Medicare plan. He is a Medicare specialist. You can review your current plan, see what else is available to you. He's available 7 days a week, and there could be some changes. So it's always good to keep up to date with your health care and with your Medicare. So contact Jay for that. I also tagged him in the top of the video, Jason Sherman at Seniors Choice RI. So he's there. Also, I want to say hi to Dominique, our Cranston friend who got to meet J.D. Vance. I thought that was awesome. So hi to Dominique, who's in Mar-a-Lago. I assume it's right now. It looks like a current picture. So we're we wish you hi to Dominique, and drop her name. Someone wants to tag her on this video in the comments. We wish we were you. More than one of us are saying it, not just on Facebook, off of Facebook. So we were definitely happy for you, and it was definitely probably a lifetime experience. I mean, who can say they've seen or met, even like seen in person, that you have seen a president, former president, a vice president, a former vice president? I mean, I think that's very rare, especially to be standing right near one to take a photograph with them. So I think that's pretty cool. The other thing I was going to say was, I do want to get into some of the local election stuff as well. But, I mean, I'm happy that, speaking of politics and Vance and Trump, obviously I am happy Trump won. I don't think he's a perfect guy, but I do think that he was the right candidate to win. I guess I'm just confused, what women's rights are being taken away by him being in office? I mean, what's being taken away from you? How are you different yesterday from today? How are you different depending on if he was in office or not? As far as I think people are referring to the state thing, to the abortion thing, which is up to the states. So the states decided and took a vote on that. It wasn't left up to the federal level, it's left up to the states. And I think that's okay. And not every state has an abortion ban. And a lot of those bans, by the way, are for late-term abortion. I didn't 100% do my research, but I could tell you if it's to do with, the life of the mother who's pregnant, the pregnant woman, if it's to do with her life being on the line or being in danger, rape or incest, there are exceptions to a lot of those rules that a lot of those states, which isn't even many states that have a ban, but if there is a ban or partial bans on abortion, a lot of them include an exception for rape, incest, and the life of the mother who's pregnant. So to me, those are the most important reasons to get an abortion anyway, would be those reasons. So I think we get a little over the top with it. I personally don't believe in abortion, but if you have a standard pregnancy and you're looking to get an abortion, if you really had to drive to another state, is that really the worst thing that you'd have to do? You can even go take a vacation if you wanted to make a trip of it. Just to say, I know it gets a touchy subject, but if there's no reason to get an abortion other than not the right timing, or it wasn't the right guy I got pregnant with, or whatever your excuse may be, I hate to use the word excuse, but whatever it may be, you can drive to another state, or you could see what's in place in your current state. Any Rhode Island women who have an issue with this abortion thing, and I've talked to a couple, I don't know why, because we have no issues here. Gina Raimondo put something in place where abortion is allowed, even late term. I'm pretty sure even late term abortion is allowed in Rhode Island. So any Rhode Islanders who are complaining, I think they're just advocating for women in our country. But again, it's not a countrywide decision. It's left up to the individual states. Just like I'm hearing that Trump is going to leave education up to the individual states. So he's going to do something to put in place on the education level too. I don't have the details on that, but that would be by state. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. So are we all going to complain about that too, just like we're complaining about abortion? No, we probably won't. And I know you're thinking, my body, my choice, and I do agree with that, and I do believe in abortion if it's, as religious as I am. I do believe in it in certain circumstances, like which the ones I just outlined a minute ago. I get it for those extreme circumstances, but how often does that happen? Not very often. Those are very far and few between cases. And I know it might be your body, your choice. Let's say for, hey, I just didn't want to have the child, the women who talk like that, hey, I didn't want to have this baby right now. Okay, you should be able to have a choice. That's how some people think. I'm old school, I don't think that way, but everybody's different. But what about vaccines then? Why isn't it your body, your choice when it comes to vaccines and all the baloney we had to go through during COVID, or that you can't even work at a certain place unless you get a vaccine? So definitely something to consider, definitely interesting. Okay, we have also, so guys, drop a comment saying hi if you want, whether it's now or on a replay. We will also do our raffle as well. Basically, all right, so I mean, obviously I did want Trump to win. He did win. But if he didn't, life still's gonna go on. I mean, I wouldn't be getting upset, but apparently some Democrats are having gatherings where they're consoling each other. I don't know if it's in a classroom setting, workshop, I'm not really sure of the detail, but where they're gathering because they're upset about the loss. I mean, some people are really taking this really, really to heart and taking it really personal. I mean, your life shouldn't change that much. I mean, I also heard this happened at one local college in Rhode Island. I don't know if it was Rhode Island College. I heard it's one or two, definitely one college in the state where a professor was so upset that Trump won that he actually canceled classes. I've never heard of that. I think that's crazy. I think having consoling stations or workshops or whatever is a little interesting too. I could say the above did not happen when Biden won. Us Trump supporters did not have to, cancel class or anything of that sort. So, I mean, yeah, I can't talk. I guess people take things differently, but I do want to remind people that Trump did win the popular vote as well. Which is awesome. And as far as, I think it's his personality. I think a lot of people have an issue with Trump's personality. But it shouldn't be that way. It should be who is doing the best job for America, not the personality. I mean, if you get technical, the debate between J.D. Vance and Walz was probably more presidential than Trump and Harris. It probably actually was. It doesn't mean I don't like Trump. I'm just saying, if you get technical, it was a more presidential, a more calm, more professional debate. But even if I see that, it doesn't mean though, I can't support Trump because of that though. I mean, I don't think Kamala, I don't think she has enough experience. There's a lot I could say about her. I mean, okay, she's a woman. She had that going for her. She was a Democrat. So if you're a Democrat, then that would be something that you would pick her. I mean, she was thrown into this. I don't know what she really did over the course of all these years, other than create an open border. And, and she's on a show like The View, a very liberal show, the ladies of The View. And they asked Harris, this is prior to the final results just last week. I don't know if it's a month ago, 2 months ago, I'm not sure. And they said to Harris, what would you have changed in Biden's administration? What would you have done differently? Now, to me, no matter who the person is in office, there's always something you can do differently. We can look at all of our lives and do something differently in all of our lives. None of us are perfect. So everything could use improvements. So when she's being asked that question, she should have an answer. And actually, the answer should be easy. There's a lot that could have been changed. A lot could have been changed under Biden's, under his term there. A lot could have been changed. And Kamala, she actually said, I wouldn't change anything. She actually said that. There's nothing I would change. So right there, that's just the wrong answer. Even if she was referring to Trump, it would be the wrong answer. You always should be able to change something. I don't think it was right that Harris also did not make an appearance on Joe Rogan. I mean, who says no to going on Joe Rogan? The number one podcaster in the nation. I don't know about in the world, but I know at least in the United States, I'm pretty sure he's number one or in the top 3. Joe Rogan. Who would say no to him? But again, I think she's dodging questions. I'd rather have a president who dodges bullets than a president who dodges questions. Hey, Peter, hello. She also, she talks a lot like this. She's always like this. She'll talk to the crowd and she's always, I don't know the exact word for that, but I know that that's not good. There's not any, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to point your finger when you're giving a speech, whether you're the president, vice president, whether you're anyone, the principal of a school. They say like that gesture like you're not supposed to use. And I'm just very surprised that her advisors or the lawyers that are around her or the people that are in her crew, there had to be someone in that crew that was educated enough to know that you're not supposed to do that. But I mean, I don't want to call them uneducated, but I think it's weird how nobody stopped her from doing something like that. Obama, I believe, did that a lot, but then he'd kind of go like, he would do something like this. And we think it was because, I saw this in research one time, I researched it back when, that someone probably advised him and said, stop doing that. Like, don't point your finger. So that's why, because he was so used to it, he just caught himself and he started doing something like this instead. I don't know for sure exactly his movement, but I know he stopped doing the pointing. So why is no one stopping like Kamala from pointing? Why not? Why is she saying no to the Al Smith dinner in New York City? I mean, there's millionaires there, billionaires there. It's a great event. It is connected to the Catholic Church. She made a virtual appearance on a big screen. The jokes weren't even that funny. I mean, maybe a couple were, but I mean, it's a great chance to roast your candidate, just to roast people around you. It's a fun and charitable event. Why is she not there? She also took offense. I don't know which rally she was at. She was at one of her rallies, though, and there were some protesters there who were against this. I'm still talking about Harris. And guys, thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment saying hi if you want, even if you're watching on a replay. She was at one of her rallies, and there was some protesters in the background screaming, assumingly for Trump or whatever they were screaming for. And she at first kind of handled it well. And as a person in a position of power, you're supposed to be able to handle anything well and show that things don't bother you, or at least be able to learn to not make things bother you. And she did handle it well at first. Like, as if to say, okay, like she said something where she was acknowledging it. I don't remember exactly. But then after that, she kind of just like, the finger came out and she's like, and let me tell you, and she started saying in her rant, and then she's like, and I'm speaking, and she's like, she go all defensive, and it's like, lady, like, if you're offended, and you're offended by protesters, like a few protesters, that offends you, how are you going to handle the whole country? How are you going to handle the issues that go on with other countries where they're taking advantage of us and advantage of our money and advantage of more than one thing? So for foreign policy, like no, I don't see the strength there. If you can't handle a rally, I mean, you could have said anything in that moment. You could have ignored it. You could have said, okay, those are probably Trump supporters that are probably here with us today, and you could have kept talking. You could have invited them on the stage and had a little debate, like, okay, I'm assuming you vote for Trump, tell us why. And whatever they said, you could have a rebuttal to. There's a rebuttal to almost everything in life, especially if you're running for president. You should have a rebuttal for everything. Or else if not, you don't belong running for president. So speaking on more of that, just quick to the abortion thing too. Nearly 2/3 of Americans say abortion should be legal in all or most situations. So that is another interesting statistic. And like I said, it does not impact many states where it's a total ban on it. That's not that many states. And I think people just voted based on the economy and the whole issue with the illegal immigration. I think people voted on those two things mainly, is the economy and illegal immigration. And guys, drop a comment, not contest. Drop a comment if you want. Gina Raimondo is people who are concerned about her. I'm sure she'll still be employed. I'm sure she'll be employed still. Maybe not under President Trump. Maybe not, in the government, in the federal government anymore. So, I mean, not in Washington anymore. But I'm sure she'll be employed. I don't like how she said we have to extinguish Trump. She said that in one of her interviews, and then she clarified her statement only because the reporter helped her clarify it. And my thing I say to that is, if that was a Republican that had said we need to extinguish someone, it just would have been all over the news. So the media is very, very, very biased. It's a very weird world we live in. And I was also another, sorry, I'm just looking at my messy notes here. I apologize. I was voting when I went to go vote, and you just have to slide it into the machine. It doesn't matter which side up it goes into the machine. You just put it in the machine, and it wasn't going in. Because I'm trying it more than one time, and it's not going in. Upside down, even though it didn't matter what side up. And I'm just looking at the guy, and I'm like, and he's trying it, and it's not going in. So I look at him, and I say, oh, is it because I voted for Trump? And I winked at him, As if to say, like, what, is the machine rigged? I mean, that could be a conspiracy theory. I don't think it was that, but I think it was weird how it was not taking my ballot. I don't think there's more than one way to insert a ballot into a machine. I also can say that the day of, on election day 2, I managed to go to church right in Providence at the cathedral right in Providence, and I felt that the priest did stay out of politics, but he did say a little, I can't even describe the way he said it, but he basically leaned Republican without saying he was Republican, but he mentioned, you know, reproductive, and I don't think he even said the word abortion, but he was, you know, basically he was talking about that. So, you know, I feel like he said without saying, you know, we have to put a conscious effort into who we vote for, and obviously he probably would be against abortion, which would be against Democrats, but he didn't say it. He kept it very biblical and appropriate, but even he had to mention something about reproduction and kids and, you know, unborn babies, or however he worded it. And but he made a good point, and he's the second priest I've heard say this, who no matter who gets in office, whether it's locally or nationally, we have to pray for that person. So even if Harris got in, we would have to pray for her and pray that she does the right thing for our country. Or even locally, we pray for the person, even if it wasn't the person that we had wanted or the person that we don't think should have gotten in. We still have to pray for them that they do the right thing. And we hope that they do. And, you know, I just can say all candidates, whether it's nationally or locally, all of them have good and bad. It doesn't matter who they are. Like I said, I'm not going to lose sleep on the wrong candidate or quote-unquote wrong candidate getting in. I can think of some people on a local level, both that are Republicans or Democrats, who didn't win. And I feel bad about it, you know, but I just want to say to those people, so this is to any candidates who didn't win, I do think it's okay if you don't win. I know there's people who are competitive and I just never had a competitive personality. Like, I've never been into sports or into politics, 100% into politics, or into sports or winning games or anything. I'm not competitive, because I believe all of us can achieve something if we work towards it, no matter what it is. Achieve it in a sport, in politics, with our own bodies, with our health, with our education. If you want to achieve something, you could take steps to get towards it, even if it's small steps. So there's a lot of competitive people in our world. I don't think they're bad for being competitive, but there are people who take things very, very, very personally and very, very, very seriously, and they're very upset that they lost the election. So I just want to say to some of those people, including some local people, and I'm not saying all of the people that lost locally feel this way, because I haven't talked to them all, but just from knowing some or hearing stories, some I think take it personal, some don't. Some are bothered, some are like, hey, you know, it's okay, what are you going to do? You know, everyone's different. But for the people that did lose, I could say you definitely gained experience. You got your name out there. You met people. You probably learned different things along the way. I don't ever think it's a waste to run. It's never a waste to run in politics. Nothing's wasteful about it, because you may win, so why would it be a waste? Like, the worst case scenario is that you just don't win the election. If that's okay. You know, you're trying to make a difference in your community. It takes guts to even run. And I think that's great, to run and get your name out there and try to make a difference in Rhode Island or in your city or town. So I think it's a really, really good thing. You know, to me, there's more benefits to running than not benefits. You can always run again. It's definitely something positive, and it's a positive experience. And, you know, when you look back one day, you can look back on it and say, oh yeah, that time, and you think of the memories. Even if you know someone or were close to someone who ran, whether you are their parent, whether you are their son or daughter, siblings, friends, you're kind of thrown into it too. And, you know, you get to see the excitement of winning or the, you know, disappointment of losing, or you get to see the different events and fundraisers, and you get to meet with different business owners and make community connections, and you meet people and all of that you never would have met or never would have experienced had you not run for office. So I don't think that it's a waste. I never will think it's a waste. I think it's great that you actually ran. Also, as far as cheating in elections, and drop a comment on this too if you're watching. You know, I don't like, I feel like there is always cheating. I just do, and I don't think that's wrong to say, and I might sound negative saying that or wrong by saying that, but I feel you could throw away a mail-in ballot. I mean, you could just throw it away. you also can fill out a ballot for someone who passed away last week. You know, like someone who passed away a week prior to the election. It might not even be on record yet that they passed away. So there's always ways to cheat, whether it's through mail-in ballots or even through other means. I do believe that, but I believe that those numbers should be factored. It's not right at all, but I believe those numbers should be factored in. And so when you're in a race, you should know that that does happen. So you have to do everything in your power to get as many votes as possible to kind of get around that. I just feel that when human hands are touching things, there's always ways to cheat or to, you know, I mean, even retail. In retail, there's a lot of theft. There's a lot of theft, there's a lot of shrink, there's a lot of, you know, stealing going on in retail stores. So retailers, I'm just going to make this number up, let's say 18% of their product was stolen over the course of 1 year, 18% of their product. They're going to do a mathematical calculation and they're going to raise the price of their products now because of that. So they're keeping in mind while they're putting a price on something, they're considering, but there's going to be some stealing. There's going to be stealing that's going to happen in my store this year, so I'm going to raise the price on all these items by 75 cents or by whatever the amount may be. They factor that in. So what I'm trying to say is when you need to factor in cheating when you run for office. I do believe that. I also believe, and this message goes to some people who lost, whether you're in Cranston or elsewhere in Rhode Island, I believe that it becomes a popularity contest. The man or woman who knows more people wins. Is that fair? I don't know. Drop a comment. Is it fair that it becomes a popularity contest and that person wins because they know more people, because they're more popular, almost like in high school? You know, that does happen. I'm not saying that affects every race, but it has affected some races locally as well. And sometimes I think that means the right person didn't win, or sometimes that popular person to me is still the right person. So I guess it depends what race you're talking about in that. Okay, so nearing the end here, we'll do our raffle soon. Okay, I'll tell you again about Jay Sherman. So don't forget Jay Sherman, Jason Sherman, at Senior's Choice, 401-529-7573. See if you qualify, you or your loved one, if they qualify for any additional benefits. He's a Medicare specialist. He can review your current plan, see what else is available to you. It's a free consultation, 7 days a week. Any other changes you can make on your plan, maybe see what else is out there. It's good to check on your plan yearly. And again, he's tagged at the top of the video too. But it's good to check on that. So, okay, so we'll do our raffle, New York system. Thanks guys, for everybody for tuning in today. I'm not used to this time change. It's already like getting, I think it's before 5 o'clock still. It's already getting dark, getting dark. So our raffle to New York system. Let's see. Lisa, the community helper. Let me flip it around. Lisa, you won. Sorry guys, the Wi-Fi is a little. Lisa, I wrote you down as community helper instead of the picker-upper. Why is it not coming in clear? All right, now it's clear. Lisa, the community helper. Lisa, you won, but just make sure you claim your prize. Give me a call, or else it goes up for grabs again. You won the gift card, New York system. I got more than one of these gift cards, so there's gonna be more than one going up of New York system. I also have a couple more at home. So thanks guys, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to drop a comment with your opinion. All right, thanks.